Hey, everybody.
How you doing?
Welcome to the Room YXE. I am Leslie,
I'm Johnny.
and we are in season 2 we're November 23rd.
Episode 3.
Yeah, November 23rd. November, almost at the end of 2021. Crazy. We're coming to you live from Saskatoon, and welcome to the show. We are live. However, we have our past episodes on the No YXE YouTube channel, so you can go check them out. And we've had a lot of really great guests, and so yeah, check it out. Right. So I hope everybody.
If you got nothing better to do.
That's well, it's a pretty good thing to do, I think.
Well, yeah. You wear the headphones and just do anything.
That's right. You can clean while you listen.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Or whatever. So I hope everybody had a great week. We put up, I put up the Christmas tree.
You put up the Christmas tree
on Sunday, and because we need a little sparkle and shine, because it's been a tough year for us and for a lot of people. So just put up the Christmas tree early. And it's funny, I noticed, and maybe this happened every year, but I just noticed a lot of people putting their tree up early. So maybe there's a lot of people out there that need a little bit of something uplifting and just, yeah. So anyhow, we got the tree up and all that kind of stuff.
It's almost done, right?
It's almost done. Well, yeah, because I put it up, and then Johnny likes to do the final touches. I don't know if you want everybody to know that, but it's awesome. He puts it in. He likes to put some of the ornaments a little bit further in on the tree, so there's dimension to the tree.
Yeah, lots of ornaments.
We have a ton of ornaments. So, and we usually get an ornament every year.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't got one this year yet.
Not yet.
So we'll have to do that.
Last year's was a piece of pizza or something, wasn't it?
It was a burger, I think.
A burger.
I think it might have been a pizza. I think it was a burger. Anyhow, so
pizza, burger.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole versus kind of thing.
Another debate.
We have some music current events to tell you about. Vinyl sales are up 53% compared to a year ago, which is, woo, that's awesome. We love that. We love vinyl. We have Johnny's vinyl collection is incredible, which it's mine too.
You can have the 45s.
Thanks a lot. So it's awesome that it's up and everybody wants vinyl now. It's just been growing and growing apparently. But the problem is vinyl pressing facilities are stretched to the max and they're not meeting demand. Major label artists are digging into their back catalog with huge orders. There's, artists that have new product out like Rihanna and Taylor Swift. They're doing huge vinyl releases. And Adele had a major release and doing vinyl for that. I guess she kind of apparently broke the facilities. And smaller artists are vying for getting in there and getting some bookings. But apparently it's a total mess. And also because of COVID, there's shortages of key materials and nickel is going up and somehow nickel's involved in the pressing plants and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and the
supply chain, very complicated.
The supply chain is all screwed up.
Yeah. So now retailers don't know if they're going to have like the hot vinyl items.
You walk into the record store and the only record in the store is like 100 copies of Adele.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say like the only record is like 100 copies of the Partridge Family or some old record. But anyways, so hopefully they get that figured out because we want people to not be so frustrated with vinyl that they turn away from vinyl because it's the best.
We were going to get Tucker Lane on vinyl, and
I
looked into it through Dave Rave's cousin out east, and it was 6 weeks when we first checked into it, and then a couple months went by, and we thought, okay, we should seriously look at this. And it was like, then it was going to be 8 weeks, and then it was over 10 or something.
Oh yeah, it was crazy. Then it ended up being crazy.
And we still haven't done it. So
no, we haven't. So yeah, that's right. So who's gonna watch Get Back on Disney Plus channel? Oh my God, we're so excited about seeing Peter Jackson's Get Back documentary on the Beatles, and the footage that we've seen is incredible, and it's just something really to look forward to. Again, it's another pick me up, another feel good thing to do. So that's starting on Thursday, November 25th, and there's three episodes, and it looks wicked. Like we were like watching it, going like the trailer, and we're thinking like, how could they have kept all of this footage in the hiding place for this long? Like, holy moly,
somebody knew.
Yeah, no kidding. So yeah, everybody check it out, because then we can all talk about it, and we have friends that, like Chris, of course, that we're going to be probably having discussions with him afterwards, after we watch it and talk about it also. It's just so much fun. So check that out. So I think that's about it out there. Hey,
yeah, I'm excited about that Get Back.
I know, me too. It's just such a event. Anyhow, so let's get to our guest. That's it for news. That's it. We stop with Get Back. That's the
height of it.
That's the height of it. So let's get to our guest. We're really excited. We've had him on before.
He's a repeat customer.
He is, but he's just so much fun, and just so great to just hear all his stories about Saskatoon. He's also an amazing musician. He's a multi-instrumentalist and has performed in various groups, from orchestras to rock bands. And we're sure that you probably have seen him around town.
If you've been out and about seeing music in Saskatoon at some point, I'm sure you've seen Terry play.
Absolutely. And but he's got a non-musical focus these days, I guess. He is totally the man for Saskatoon history. He's publishing a 60-volume book, a Saskatoon Encyclopedia series, all by himself. The first 9 books have been completed and published. It probably is more than that now, yeah. And he's in the process of reading and indexing every historically important article from the Saskatoon Star Phoenix published during the 20th century. And that has like 1 million pages that he's got to go through.
I struggled with 23 pages this afternoon.
Well, yeah, actually 23 would be a lot. So he's like, about 2/3, 3/4 or something into this massive project. There's also the Saskatoon History Facebook group. Check it out. But I just think it's wonderful that he does this for our beautiful city. We really want to welcome warmly to the Green Room YXE, Terry Hoknes.
Thanks for having me again. It's good to be back.
Yeah, welcome back, Terry. It's good to see you. So, you and I were chatting the other night, and we were talking about the dates that the Pursuit of Happiness played in the city early on, and we were trying to remember the names of clubs and such not. And we started talking about the research that you're doing, and I find it super interesting that a guy who's lived through a lot of it was young enough to hear the tales from the older set at the time. And what happened?
Hey.
Anyways, that sound was pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to sample that. Anyways, so so here's the guy who's been in bands, has been around the club scene, and is now researching into all the clubs that have existed in Saskatoon and who played there.
That's so awesome.
I know,
so much fun.
That is so cool. So what's your biggest mystery these days? What are you trying to track down?
Well, I probably have about 1,000 mysteries going at a time, because I'm currently reading 1930s, the 1910s. I'm documenting World War I right now. I'm trying to write biographies for 1980s rock bands in the city and keep the Facebook groups going, and then write the book. So I've actually had some pretty good mysteries happen. I even helped a woman who was given up for adoption and never knew who her mother was. And so also on my hunt, I'm pretty good at genealogy. So I went on this massive hunt and was able to find out that the mother was murdered in Saskatoon. And So of course she couldn't.
Wow.
I couldn't get her back together with her mother, but at least I could help her find out who her family was and reunite them with obviously current living members of the family. So that's an interesting story, right? And
That is.
there's some
No
deja vu
kidding.
things happen for me because I read so much stuff, and sometimes I'm like, I'll be talking about something, and literally within an hour, I'm flipping through newspapers, and I find something related. I go, how is that even possible? Like that is so fluky, right? Because it's
right.
and the thing that keeps me going is I never know what I'm going to read in the paper next, right?
Yeah.
Because when you're reading 1916, I'm like, I have no idea what happened on August 17th, right? Until I get there and go, oh, okay, that's interesting. Some shocking things, of course. So yes, there's all the crimes and the murders and all those kind of things. And then there's just terrible stories that happen. Oh, I read some doozies today. So there's that whole end of, I always like to joke that news really is just short for bad news because, that's really all that makes the news. There's not very much good stuff. So when you look back at news events, it's sadly usually fires, crime, missing people. You get the good stuff though. You get the concerts and the special events. So I don't know if that answers your question. I'm wondering a bit, but
that's okay. It's always good. It's just interesting to listen to you talk about it. Do you ever come across a coincidence that you've seen and you go like, how could that actually, like you were saying, how could that be possible? That is just so two things that are linked up that you would have never known, and had you not stumbled across another article about something.
Well, it definitely does happen a lot. Now, off the top of my head, now you're putting me on the spot. Now I'm not going to think of any, but it definitely happens. And it's just a lot of weird things that go on. In the 30s, there's the Depression, and then it's weird to see all these things that happen and how they connect. Weird stories. Here's a weird story just out of random that pops into my head. Have you ever been to Danceland at Manitou Beach?
Unfortunately, we have not.
No.
Okay. So that's like the biggest dance hall in Saskatchewan, pretty well. That it's 90 years old, still has the original hardwood floors. So bands have been playing their dances for 90 years. And there was a story, I think this was in the 40s, where an orchestra played, probably with like 18 members. They played their dance that night, and then they stayed overnight in the town. And then the next day they were going to tear down their equipment and load out. They go back to the club the next day, and all their gear is missing, all of it. So they think somebody's broken in and stolen it. But what actually happened was some punks went in there, stole all the gear, and threw it all into the lake. And actually see the instruments floating in the middle of the lake. So.
Oh no.
It's horrible, but you know what? That sounds like fun.
What, throwing the gear or watching it floating in the lake?
All of that.
Come on. Watching the guitars float away. I'd just be crying if I saw that. So, hey, Terry, I have a question. Now, I would like to know if there's any bands that you've come across that have played Saskatoon that people would be like, oh my God, they came to Saskatoon. Oh my God, they came to Saskatoon. Because not a lot of bands make their way all the way through Canada, or even coming up from the States or from other countries. They kind of hit the, Toronto, Calgary, whatever, but they don't come to Saskatoon. And so I want to know if these bands that came here that, played Saskatoon, that would be like, oh, cool, they came. And when did they come? Is there any that come to mind?
Yeah, there's quite a few, because of course the stories that are most intriguing is when you get these legendary stars from other countries that played here before our time. So of course we never knew it happened because we weren't here. So some of the best stories are the early rock bands that actually played Saskatoon. The Trogs were the first rock band to play the Centennial Auditorium in 1968.
Wow.
Trogs.
The Who came in 1968 and played at the Arena Rink down on 19th Street.
Wow, that's awesome.
So that's in 1968. That's pre-Tommy, but still the Who are still already established, one of the biggest bands in the world. So that was a big event. And a lot of our best musicians in Saskatoon at the time did get to open for the Who. So that's pretty cool for them. Another famous story, Pink. So we had some bands like Kaleidoscope, some of our local 60s bands.
Okay.
So again, you have to sort of be of that era because, of course, those musicians are all in their 70s now. So if you don't know that age group, you're not going to know them. Bob Silversites comes to mind. He was the organist for one of the bands. And back then, you remember in the good old days, everyone literally lugged gigantic organs in their rock bands. So
oh my gosh. Yeah, no kidding.
Massive sweaty organ.
Yeah, so the whole band is lugging this organ, which weighs hundreds of pounds, to every show that they play and small town dances, etc. Another big name that played Saskatoon, Pink Floyd, came here and promoted Ummagumma in 1970.
Oh, wow.
At
Wow.
the auditorium. And then we've had bigger names that were here earlier, like Roy Orbison has played here probably 10 times. And he's played the old exhibition stadium, which is where they used to have the old rink. So not sure if Johnny would remember that building at the exhibition grounds at the corner of Lorne and Ruth. That building's now been gone for decades. But used to hold big events in there, massive events. And then, of course, we've had more legendary stars earlier than that. We've had, like Louis Armstrong has played here numerous times, and the Everly Brothers.
Johnny Cash.
Yeah, Johnny Cash many, many times. So the idea is, of course, we've had entertainment, but entertainment that we know it today didn't exist, sort of pre-50s, because, the entertainment industry wasn't established as such the big thing it is now, where it's such an event. There was a time where you honestly could go through, say 1952, and there might be only one traveling tour that hit the city in the whole year, because in those days it was truly a special event. So even names that nobody remembers now came to Saskatoon, but sold thousands of tickets because it was just a big deal that we're getting a big name star. Because you have to remember, Saskatoon hasn't always been that big.
Right.
And so, yes, definitely in the old days, we didn't get a lot of big names.
Hey, Terry, I got a question for you. Maybe you can answer this one. I saw Simple Minds, and I'm not sure if it was Martinsville or Warman, in like a town hall when they first came to Saskatoon. Do you have any idea where that was? It doesn't surprise me that I can't remember where it was, but
no, you're right. That definitely happened. And I just happened to be at my computer. So let me see if I can, in 5 seconds, retrieve this info for you.
Oh, man, this is like Star Trek.
So they played the Martinsville Town Hall in 1981.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you remember the story about the KKK scare that they had?
That was at the Centennial, the basement of the Centennial Auditorium for the New Gold Dream Tour. I was at that one as well. And they had some people in the audience dressed as KKK members. And the drummer was, African-American.
Oh, man.
And so they kind of almost didn't come out, right, Terry? That was the story?
Yeah. They were truly scared because they didn't know if it was real or not.
Yeah.
Right? They don't know nothing about Saskatoon. Well,
Yeah.
Right.
So,
yeah.
So
wow.
40 years ago already for Martinsville. So, and that just shows you. And yes, there's a lot of bands like that, bands that played here when they're not really a name yet.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to hear about, is those bands that come through, the first time they do a tour of Canada, and then the next time they're like, maybe don't. Yeah, because Nirvana, I know, went across Canada. They played in Toronto apparently to 5 people at, where was it at? Lee's Palace or something, right? And so yeah, that happens too, right?
Yeah. So Kiss played the Arena Rink downtown in 1974 when they released their first album, and they were the opening act. So who knows what the audience thought of them, right?
Right.
Yeah. Was that before they did makeup? Because
they had the makeup, but people just didn't know who they were yet.
Well, that was their first album, right? 74? Was that the first kid? Rory would know this.
Yeah, the first two albums that came out 74. Yeah.
Okay.
And so I mean they've got their major label, but their records weren't selling that well yet. And of course they didn't have any radio airplay at the start of their career. So but they were on the road doing their thing. Bryan Adams used to play all the bars downtown for a couple of years before he really broke big. So lots of stories like that. There's other bands that, played smaller venues and then just got bigger and bigger. Steve Perry of Journey used to play downtown Saskatoon all the time when he was the drummer of a bar band.
Oh, wow.
So, everyone starts somewhere. Here's an interesting story for me. I did a gig at Amigos in 93 and now I'm going to draw a blank. You'll never guess who I opened for. I opened for Jack White.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Hey.
But I didn't even know who he was. He wasn't Jack White yet in 93, right? So, sometimes you have passing things with people who, it doesn't mean anything at the time. Now it's a good story. But at the time, like, yeah, whatever. It's just another musician on the road, right? So things like that happen. So, yeah. So that's a few that come to my mind of interesting, people who started out and just played gigs here on their way to fame. And there's
like I remember on 2nd Avenue sneaking into the A4 being underage and Jax had a band and Yips would have a band and the Capri, there'd be a band there. Top of the Inn would have a band. It'd be just full of bands downtown. And it doesn't seem that there's
as many bands playing live.
Why is that not still happening? I wonder.
Well, I could give you a list of the reasons, Actually, well, the first is technology is sort of against us, right? Music styles. I mean, there's not many bands, the so-called 4-piece bands out there making a living. You've got the DJs, you've got the internet. Another big factor is you have alcohol laws, drinking and driving laws. You've got the increase of price on everything. So I'd say that's the 3 biggest factors, but also music going out of style in a sense. If you remember, it used to be easy to be a cover band and pretty well play stuff that was on the radio and get away with it. But once you're sort of a traditional, guitar-based drums band, I mean, if you said, let's go out and let's do covers of current songs that are Justin Bieber, Drake, I mean, it's not going to work. You have to really, in a sense, change the format, the instrumentation of the band. So that also has killed it. Just change of the time.
Yeah. Well, I know that we could talk for hours, and we'll have to have you back again, maybe for a 3-peat. But hey, look at this guy here, Michael Pennington.
Hi, Michael.
Hi, Michael. Mr. sold out the Centennial Auditorium in 30 minutes back in the mid to late 80s. And also Crocus and Wasp around the same time. That was a pretty big show. Pikes and Widemouth Mason, and now the Sheepdogs out of Saskatoon. Lydia's. Remember, we went to Lydia's a couple times before.
Yeah,
before
we did.
Shut her down
It was cool.
We played there.
It was cool. Pursuit of Happiness live in concert Friday, August 4th.
With my time machine, let's go.
Where was that at?
Broadway Theater.
Oh.
We drank with the Pikes after that show.
I remember that.
It was a good night. It was a fun time.
Yeah, it was a fun time. Yeah. Awesome.
All right. So, more comments. Hi, all. Hi, Michael. Age of Electric. Local bands that was allowed to play originals. Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Reg Ernest.
Thanks,
Louis
Michael.
had a lot of great
awesome.
bands. Yeah, Louis did have a lot of great bands. I saw some great shows at Louis back in the day.
That's
Terry Craig, Pursuit of
Happiness.
Happiness.
Reg. Hey, Reg.
New album. Who's Reg? Reg Ernest. Yeah. Right on. So you know what? I want to encourage people to. What's the Facebook page called, Terry?
So if you go on Facebook, you can just search for Saskatoon history if you're interested in general history of the city, covering everything. There's also a Facebook group, Saskatoon music history, if you just want to talk about the musicians, the bands, and all the venues over the decades.
Yeah, I
Right
follow
on.
them both. They're both pretty cool.
Yeah,
pages.
I do
They
too.
pop up in your feed there, and you get a little bit of knowledge about the city.
Oh,
Oh,
here's another Pursuit of
endless
Happiness.
faces, endless touring.
There we are.
Look at me now. I'm endlessly touring. Okay.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much,
Yeah, those
Terry,
are
for
fun to
coming
see.
on. We have to have you on again for sure. There's
Yeah.
just so much to talk about. Holy moly. A million pages worth of things to talk
Yeah.
No
about.
kidding. You know, and to think that when he gets up on stage and he's playing his bass up there, that's the easiest thing he's done all week.
Yeah, I know the
Yeah.
other things are just running through his head like a Rolodex.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Terry. Thanks for
Terry.
coming
Thanks
on.
again.
Yeah.
See you again.
Have a great night.
All right. So that guy's brain must be like twice
Oh,
as big
I
as
know. You
mine.
just ask him stuff and it's just
Yeah.
like he knows, like, holy moly. So we've got another guest who has been on for a couple of weeks now, and we just love Rory because it is time for Rory's Road Stories.
Yeah. He's cut his chops on the road and has stories to tell.
And he does,
And
that's for
probably
sure.
some scars somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. That'll be the next series, Rory's Scars. It'll be like Jaws. We're just comparing scars.
It'll be like Ian's game show where they have a blurry picture and then you guess, and it'll be like a blurry scar on Rory's body, and it comes into focus, and it's like, oh my God, it's his butt cheek.
Oh my gosh.
No.
So take it away,
Hey, guys.
Rory.
The last couple of weeks, the stories were more on I want to say, sadly, they were a little on the violent, some of the violent experiences that I ended up going through when we were on the road. So I thought this week it would be one that was just more of an emotionally violent experience. We were on our way through to Ontario. We were gigging out, or no, not to Ontario, to BC. We were coming back from Ontario, heading out to BC. And our guitar player's sister, I think it was his sister, or maybe his cousin, lived in Winnipeg. So we stayed at her place for the night, slept on her floor. We'd been traveling all day. I was starving. I mean, I'm a big fat guy, so I need food all the time. And the guys wanted drinks, and it turned out there was an after-hours jazz and blues club in downtown Winnipeg at the time. We're talking the late 80s. Not sure. I would bet it's not there now, but it was called the Blue Note Cafe.
Yeah, we were there.
So
it was right.
So we
right
ended
down
up wandering.
It was right down the alley from the Spectrum, right? And the brothers, the two guys own it. Anyways, go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that was literally the only time I have been in the city of Winnipeg for more than in the transferring planes in the airport on the way to somewhere else. So I know nothing about that city, but I know the Blue Note was close enough to our guitar player's family's place that we could walk there. So several of us decided to walk there so the boys could get some booze and I could get something to eat. We get there and there's this amazing jazz combo. Apparently they were just jamming, kind of like, the Saturday or Sunday late night jam thing. And they were just amazing jazz cat players, just totally blew my mind. So we get a table, we sit down, the boys order their drinks, and the only thing to eat on the menu is soup, some type of creamy chowder soup. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. I literally hadn't eaten for like 24 hours or more. So I'm like, yeah, I'll just get the soup. I get the soup. I'm waiting. It takes forever to come. Finally, it arrives. It lands on my table. I'm like, fantastic. I'm about to dig in when suddenly Jesus Christ walks up to my table. And when I say that, I mean, this guy was the literal embodiment of the North American Republican Jesus, with the fair, flowing fair hair and the beard and the hippie sackcloth type of clothing, complete with sandals. And he comes up and he says to me, "Is the soup hot?" And I'm like, well, I don't know. I just got it. I haven't tried it yet. So he goes and he sticks his fingers into my bowl of soup. And
Wow.
I pushed the bowl to him, said, "It's yours now, buddy."
Oh my gosh.
Jesus.
What the heck?
I love that Jesus.
Yeah, he
I don't
was
know if
blessing your
the North
soup
American
like a
Republican Jesus,
it was
he's-
like water, holy water maybe.
He's a good-looking Jesus. That's what you're saying.
Was that Ted Neely Jesus?
Ted Neely.
Yeah, exactly. Like that prototypical, every American home had that painting of Jesus. This guy looked like it. And he ruined
Wow.
my soup.
Wow.
that's a
Well,
good
what
one, man.
did he drink the soup afterwards?
No, he
He
just
turned it into
informed me that the soup was, yes, it was hot, and then he walked away.
Wow. Did anybody else see him or did just you see him?
Yeah, right.
No, it wasn't a vision. I don't think I had a visitation from above. No, the other guys in the band saw him and were all like, well, that's weird. And I was so hungry, I did for a minute consider just eating it anyways. But I was like, I have no idea where that Jesus has been.
Yeah, where his
So-
fingers have been. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I
So-
love Jesus. I love Jesus and I
Aw,
love Jesus.
That's
jokes.
awesome. Yay. We love that story, Rory.
Oh,
Fantastic.
Jesus.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so
Make sure you check out everybody.
yeah, check out Rory's
Midlife
EP.
Crisis.
Put it up there, Ian.
Does Ian have it?
He's got it. There you go. You can find that any streaming platform and digital download as well. And I don't know, do you have a website, Rory? Do you sell it off your website or?
It's I have a website. It's just my name, rorylawford.com. There's links there to my profile on the different streaming services, whether you'd use Apple or Spotify or Deezer, which I'd never heard of until a month ago, or Tidal and so forth. So I have links to all of that up there on my site, and to Bandcamp. If somebody just wants to go directly to Bandcamp and buy the thing, they can as well. And it's cheap. I'm only charging, like, the lowest Bandcamp would allow me to charge was $4. So
Yeah.
Cool.
Otherwise,
so
it's not
go
worth
check it
for
out.
them, their percentages. So
Right.
they got to make money on it,
Yeah.
and everything, right? So,
Right.
Yeah.
but anyways, no, it's
Awesome.
awesome. Everybody should go check it out. Local musician, been around for a long time, playing. Paid his dues, makes his first EP.
Yeah.
So we're checking out.
And we're going to hear some more Rory stories next week.
and I'm gonna
So
get to
check
hang
it out. Come
gonna
back.
Get to hang out with Rory this weekend. Probably what are we going to spend 15 hours in a van or something like that?
You'll get to
Yeah.
maybe hear
Yeah.
you got to hear some of these stories, maybe like a
I'll
pre-
preview some of them.
Yeah.
You can tell me, Johnny, if they're too off the wall to be told in a public
Right.
setting.
No, nothing's off the wall.
Oh my goodness.
You can't make this stuff up, right?
Yeah.
No.
Gunfights and Jesus. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't. That was from one end to the other.
Yeah.
Well,
Thanks so
anyways,
much, Rory.
Yeah, thanks, Rory.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You guys
See you
have a
next
great
week.
night.
Yeah, you
You
too.
betcha.
That's always fun, eh?
It is.
Um,
Okay, so show wrap. What's going on around town? We've got at Somewhere Else Pub on Friday.
wait, we got a comment. there.
Oh, okay. Before we do that, then we got a comment. Hey, it's Jen. Hey, Jen.
Hello. You guys can come up with some new ones.
Oh.
You know what? I certainly hope not.
Let's hope it's a boring. No,
Boring,
not
yeah.
not
Well,
not
Just
boring.
enough to keep.
It's
stay
just a
awake,
rock
you know?
and roll
Yeah,
night, like
Sure.
simple rock and roll night. So yeah, we're going to tell you what's going on around town because things are actually happening around town in Saskatoon.
And
COVID is we're coming back. We're coming back, right? That's right. So Somewhere Else Pub. What were you going to say, hun? Sorry, before I interrupted your flow
What
there.
was I going to say?
It'll come to you, I'm sure.
Oh my God.
It'll come back to you.
Oh, okay. Keep rolling.
Somewhere Else Pub on Friday is Mo Marley. I'm throwing to John, but then he throws back to me. Sometimes we lob
Yeah.
the ball back and
Anyways,
forth.
yeah. Summerhouse Pub, Mo Marley, and Saturday, Small Kitchen Radio with Brooke featuring Brooke, or
I
is
don't
she in
know.
that
It
band?
says, yeah,
It says with?
yeah,
Or
with.
maybe she's opening or something. I don't know.
That's a good question, but
We could have found this stuff out.
they said with Brooke Cherry Nickel. So yeah, you're right. Does with mean? I thought it meant that she was part of
Because
Small
remember
Kitchen
last
Radio.
week Fabian's Supertramp thing opened up for Kelly Reed.
We almost
Anyways,
missed
that
out
was
on
the
that.
past. This weekend, you got Small Kitchen Radio Saturday and Mo Marley Friday at Summerhouse Pub.
That's right. And then at Amigos.
Look at though, places like Bon Tomps that used to have, not on a semi-regular basis, nothing. Anyways, Amigos.
Yeah, Amigos only has something happening on Saturday night. I mean, they have things happening on Friday night, like trivia and stuff like that at some of these clubs, but we're just kind of letting you know what the bands are.
Well, you know what, people, it's time to wake up. If you want to get out and see a band, start looking, because they're out there. And I mean, I'm as guilty as the next person. I'll like, oh, they played here? Oh, when was that? And I'm like, missed it completely. But
well, we've been getting out. I've been getting out. Like, when do I'm like a total introvert. Like, seeing me out's like seeing Sasquatch.
Kinda.
Yeah. So I've been going out and seeing bands. So everybody get out and see some bands and support your local music scene, because it's so important.
There's local beer in the bars.
Yeah, totally. Saturday at Amigos is Megan Nash and the Best of Intentions with Dump Babes. Yeah. And then at the Black Cat Tavern, Saturday is a bunch of bands on Saturday night.
Bicycle Days, Sex Geckos, Cecilia's Dream, and on Sunday is the house band. So I guess I have a house band on Sundays at the Black Cat Tavern.
That's right. And then Buds on Saturday night, Friday night, I think they have DJ or something. And then Saturday night is Fear of Knowing.
That's weird. Fear of Knowing Saturday at Buds.
Yeah. And then at the basement on, I think on Friday at the wait a second. Friday at the basement is Del Barber. That's Manitoba's answer to John Prine. Sounds pretty cool.
I didn't know there was a question about John Prine in Manitoba.
Saturday is Rachel Theron, Latin Jazz Project. And she's a trumpet player and it's supposed to be awesome.
Where's that at?
That's at the basement. And then last but not least, the Pink Cadillac, the one at McLaughlin, has on Saturday night Bridge City Creep.
That's at that's Dwayne Todorchuk is playing at Pink Cadillac, and that's in the North End.
Okay, cool.
So that's making sense now. They have 1 week there, 1 week here.
But they have somebody on Friday night at 8th Street this weekend too. Yeah, Friday, Saturday, and it's Glenn Adair. So that's what's going on around town. Lots is going on around town. Get out and see some bands. So we want to thank the guests, Terry Hoknes and Rory Lawford, for coming on tonight. That was awesome. And you guys are awesome. And please subscribe and follow No YXE and on YouTube and Facebook page. And we'll just do a little bit of shameless self-promotion here. We have a couple of bands, Tucker Lane at tuckerlane.ca. and Universal Honey, universalhoneyband.com. We have new single out for Universal Honey, and we have a single out that's doing quite well for Tucker Lane as well. So check those bands out, and we're going to promote some other No YXE live, some No YXE shows. And it's happening Tuesday. It's all happening Tuesday. Tuesdays, it starts off at 10 a.m. You've got the coffee break, YXE.
It's the network's big night.
That's right. Coffee break, YXE, 10 a.m. Then you have Let's Chat, YXE, at 11 a.m. And that's every second week, I think.
Oh, this is the morning.
That's the morning, a.m.,
Okay,
a.m. Right. Yeah, 10 a.m. And then Let's Chat, 11 a.m. And then you've got YXE Sports Podcast at 6 p.m. And then In Focus, YXE, really fun game show Tuesdays. Again, this is all happening on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. And then you have us, the Green Room YXE, at 8 p.m. So if you're an artist and you have something coming up, just email us at thegreenroomyxe at noyxe.com, and we'll get your stuff on here and plug it and do what we can.
So, we're kind of booked. We're gonna take, like, in December, we're gonna take off what's it?
A couple weeks or something.
Two nights off, but we got some guests coming up.
Yeah, that's really exciting.
We're having Jillian Snyder on.
Yeah, I think Jillian's on in a couple of weeks because she's got a show coming up. She's doing Janis Joplin at the Basement, I think, and that's going to be on the Saturday, I think the 8th. We'll find out more details, but anyway, yeah, we do have a lot of great guests coming up.
Did you get a hold of that Great Fuss guy?
Pete?
Yes, Pete Oldridge, yes.
Yeah, I have. So we'll find out. Anyway, so we will find out and we will let you know next week more.
And we have Rob McCarthy from that 100th Meridian on as well.
We ready?
Are we ready? I think
we're going to sign off. Okay, you guys have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Keep rocking and rolling.
Good night.
Night.